Have you ever wondered where rock legends rest today and the stories behind their untimely deaths? Discover the final resting places of music icons and the legacies they left behind. Curious to learn more? Let's explore their lasting impact together. David Bowie, a visionary artist known for constantly reinventing himself, passed away on January 10th, 2016, just 2 days after his 69th birthday and the release of his final album, Black Star. Bowie had privately battled cancer for 18 months and planned his final farewell carefully. He requested that his ashes be scattered in Bali, following the island's Buddhist rituals. His family honored his wishes, ensuring a private and spiritual farewell in accordance with Bowie's beliefs. Although rumors later emerged that some of his ashes were scattered at the 2016 Burning Man festival, his son Duncan Jones denied the claims, calling them untrue. Dolores O'Riordan, the iconic voice of the Cranberries, tragically passed away on January 15, 2018, at the age of 46. She was found unresponsive in the bathtub of her hotel room at the Hilton in London during a recording session. Hours before her death, she had spoken to her mother on the phone, but 6 hours later, she was discovered by hotel staff. An inquest confirmed that her death was accidental, attributed to drowning due to alcohol intoxication. Dolores O'Riordan's passing shocked her family, friends, and fans worldwide. Her body was flown back to Ireland, where she lay in repose at St. Joseph's Church in Limerick. Thousands of mourners lined up to pay their final respects to the beloved singer. She was laid to rest on January 23, 2018, in Caherelly Cemetery, alongside her father, Terence. On that day, Irish radio stations played the Cranberries' hit When You're Gone in her honor, a poignant tribute to a remarkable artist. John Lennon, a founding member of the Beatles and a global music icon, was tragically murdered on December 8, 1980, outside his home in New York City. Lennon had moved to New York in 1971, seeking a quieter life with his wife, Yoko Ono. However, the world was stunned when a man named Mark David Chapman shot him as he returned home. Lennon's death was mourned worldwide, and 5 years later, on what would have been his 45th birthday, part of Central Park was dedicated to his memory. Named Strawberry Fields after one of his most famous songs, the park includes a mosaic inscribed with the word Imagine, referencing his solo hit. It is believed that Yoko Ono scattered some of Lennon's ashes in this serene area, making it a peaceful resting place in the city he loved. Roy Orbison, known for his haunting voice and emotional songs, passed away suddenly on December 6, 1988, at the age of 52 due to a heart attack. His life was marked by personal tragedy. His first wife, Claudette, died in a motorcycle accident in 1966, and just 2 years later, 2 of his sons were killed in a fire at the family home. Despite these devastating losses, Orbison found love again with Barbara Jacobs, who helped manage his career resurgence in the 1980s. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987 and formed the supergroup Traveling Wilburys with Bob Dylan and Tom Petty. After his death, Orbison was buried at Westwood Memorial Park in Los Angeles, though his grave remains unmarked. His wife Barbara, who passed away in 2011, was buried beside him, and visitors pay tribute to the legendary musician at her marked grave. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, passed away on August 16, 1977, from a heart attack at the age of 42. His death sent shockwaves across the world, and thousands of fans gathered outside Graceland, his Memphis mansion, to mourn his passing. Elvis's body was initially placed in a mausoleum at Forest Hill Cemetery, alongside his mother Gladys. However, after an attempted grave robbery, his body was moved back to Graceland for permanent burial. Elvis is now interred alongside his mother and father in a garden on the grounds of his famous home, where fans continue to visit and pay their respects. Mary Wilson, a founding member of the legendary Motown group The Supremes, passed away unexpectedly on February 8, 2021, at the age of 76. The cause of death was later confirmed as heart disease. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, her family held a small private ceremony in March, with plans for a larger memorial when it was safer to gather. Mary Wilson was laid to rest at Holy Cross Cemetery in Culver City, California, next to her son Raphael, who died in a car accident at the age of 14. She left behind a legacy not only as a trailblazing artist, but also as a devoted mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. Chuck Berry, one of the architects of rock and roll, passed away on March 18, 2017, at the age of 90. His influence on the genre cannot be overstated, with hits like Maybelline and Johnny B. Good paving the way for future rock musicians. Berry continued to perform well into his 80s, and at the age of 88, he was still playing monthly shows in his hometown of St. Louis. Berry was laid to rest in Bellerive Heritage Gardens in St. Louis, Missouri, where fans and fellow musicians alike honored his monumental contributions to music. Janis Joplin, the queen of rock and blues, died from a heroin overdose on October 4, 1970, at the age of 27. She was cremated 2 days later in a private ceremony attended by only a handful of close friends. Her ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Marin County, California, per her wishes. Although fans cannot visit her final resting place, her legacy lives on through her music, and her former hotel room in Hollywood is now marked with a plaque in her honor. Kurt Cobain, the lead singer and guitarist of Nirvana, tragically passed away on April 5, 1994, at the age of 27. After his death, his widow Courtney Love had him cremated, and his ashes were scattered in several meaningful locations, including the Wishkah River, near his childhood home, and a Buddhist monastery in Ithaca, New York. Some of his ashes were kept by Love, but in 2008, she reported that they had been stolen. Nevertheless, Cobain's legacy as one of the most influential musicians of his generation endures. Jim Morrison, the enigmatic frontman of The Doors, died on July 3, 1971, in Paris at the age of 27. His cause of death was listed as heart failure, but rumors persist that he overdosed on heroin. Morrison was buried in Père Lachaise Cemetery in Paris, which has become a pilgrimage site for rock fans. His grave is inscribed with the words Kata ton daimona etoi, often translated as true to his own spirit, a fitting epitaph for a man who lived on his own terms. Jimi Hendrix, often hailed as one of the greatest guitarists in history, passed away on September 18, 1970, at the age of 27. Born in Seattle, Hendrix revolutionized rock music with his innovative use of feedback, distortion, and effects pedals, creating a sound that was both raw and transcendent. His performances at the Monterey Pop Festival and Woodstock remain legendary, cementing his place in rock history. However, Hendrix's life was cut short when he died from an overdose of sleeping pills combined with alcohol. Initially buried in a simple grave at Greenwood Memorial Park in Renton, Washington, Hendrix's remains were later moved to a larger memorial to accommodate the thousands of fans who visit each year to honor his memory. Hendrix's influence on music is immeasurable, and his legacy continues to inspire musicians across the globe. Johnny Ramone, the guitarist and co-founder of the punk band The Ramones, was a defining figure in the punk rock movement. Born John Cummings, Johnny's fast, aggressive playing style helped create the signature sound of the Ramones, influencing generations of punk bands. Songs like Blitzkrieg Bop and I Wanna Be Sedated became anthems of punk rock. Johnny Ramone was known for his strict work ethic and right-wing political views, which sometimes clashed with the other members of the band, particularly Joey Ramone. Johnny passed away on September 15, 2004, after a long battle with prostate cancer. He was cremated, and while his ashes were kept by his wife, A statue in his likeness was erected at Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Los Angeles, where fans continue to gather and pay tribute to his enduring legacy in punk music. Joey Ramone, the frontman of the Ramones, passed away on April 15, 2001, after a long battle with lymphoma. Joey, born Jeffrey Hyman, was the heart and soul of the Ramones, with his distinctive voice and towering presence defining the band's look and sound. Despite a famously contentious relationship with Johnny Ramone, Joey remained the voice of punk rock rebellion, with songs like Sheena is a Punk Rocker becoming iconic. Joey was buried in Hillside Cemetery in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. His legacy as one of the most influential figures in punk rock lives on, and his unique voice continues to inspire punk and alternative musicians around the world. June Carter Cash, a member of the famed Carter family and a talented musician and songwriter in her own right, passed away on May 15, 2003, at the age of 73. Her love story with Johnny Cash became one of music's most enduring romances, with songs like Ring of Fire, which she co-wrote, reflecting the passion and devotion they shared. June was a strong, influential figure in the country music and a key force behind Johnny Cash's career resurgence in the 1960s. She was buried alongside Johnny in Hendersonville, Tennessee, ensuring their story lives on in both music and memory. Frank Zappa was a musical genius and iconoclast, known for his avant-garde compositions, satirical lyrics, and boundary-pushing political and social commentary. Zappa's career spanned decades, during which he created a vast and varied body of work that defied genre classification, ranging from rock to jazz to classical music. Zappa was a staunch advocate of free speech and a critic of censorship, which made him both a musical and political figurehead. He passed away on December 4th, 1993, from prostate cancer at the age of 52. In keeping with his unconventional nature, Zappa was buried in an unmarked grave at Westwood Memorial Park in Los Angeles, a final act of nonconformity from an artist who spent his life challenging the status quo. George Harrison, lead guitarist of the Beatles, passed away on November 29, 2001, at the age of 58 after a long battle with cancer. Harrison was a deeply spiritual man and a follower of the Hare Krishna movement, which heavily influenced his solo music after the Beatles disbanded. His songs, such as While My Guitar Gently Weeps and Here Comes the Sun, remain some of the most beloved in the Beatles' catalog. Following his death, Harrison was cremated, and his ashes were scattered in the sacred Ganges River in India, according to his wishes, and in line with his deep spiritual beliefs. Harrison's contributions to music, both with the Beatles and as a solo artist, have left a lasting legacy. Freddie Mercury, the legendary frontman of Queen, passed away on November 24, 1991, from AIDS-related complications at the age of 45. Known for his extraordinary vocal range, flamboyant stage presence, and magnetic charisma, Mercury was one of the greatest performers in rock history. Songs like Bohemian Rhapsody, We Will Rock You, and Somebody to Love became timeless anthems, and Mercury's unmatched talent and energy made him a global icon. In accordance with his wishes, Mercury's ashes were entrusted to his close friend Mary Austin, who scattered them in a secret location. Mercury's desire for privacy and death mirrored his carefully guarded personal life, ensuring that his final resting place remains known only to those closest to him. Cass Elliot, affectionately known as Mama Cass, was the powerhouse voice behind the Mamas and the Papas, one of the most iconic groups of the 1960s. Born Ellen Naomi Cohen, she rose to fame with hits like California Dreamin' and Monday Monday, contributing to the soundtrack of an entire generation. Tragically, on July 28, 1974, Cass Elliot passed away at the young age of 32 while staying in a London apartment. Initially, rumors circulated that she had choked on a ham sandwich, a false and hurtful narrative that overshadowed her true cause of death: heart failure. This misinformation was fueled by the pressures surrounding her weight, an issue she dealt with throughout her career due to the harsh scrutiny of public life. Despite the brevity of her career, Cass Elliott's voice and musical contributions left an indelible mark on the music world. Her body was returned to Los Angeles, where she was laid to rest at Mount Sinai Memorial Park. Fans continue to celebrate her soulful voice and her trailblazing role as a prominent female figure in 1960s rock and folk music. Eddie Van Halen, one of the greatest guitarists in rock history, was a force who forever changed the landscape of music. Born in the Netherlands and raised in California, Van Halen co-founded the band Van Halen with his brother Alex in 1972, pioneering a sound that combined virtuosity with powerful rock riffs. Eddie is best known for his innovative guitar techniques, particularly tapping, which influenced countless musicians. Songs like Eruption and Jump showcased his technical brilliance and wide-ranging creativity. Sadly, Eddie Van Halen passed away on October 6, 2020, at the age of 65 after a long battle with cancer. Having been diagnosed with throat cancer in 2000 and later lung cancer in 2017, Eddie fought his illness for years, even surviving a motorcycle accident that revealed a brain tumor. Despite these health battles, he continued to inspire musicians and fans worldwide. His ashes were scattered off the coast of Malibu, California, a place he called home. Eddie Van Halen's legacy lives on through his groundbreaking music and the generations of guitarists he influenced. Ray Charles, often called the genius of soul, was a towering figure in American music. Born in Georgia and blind from the age of 7, Charles overcame immense challenges to revolutionize popular music, blending genres like gospel, blues, R&B, and country into a sound that was uniquely his own. His hit songs like What Did I Say, Georgia on My Mind, and Hit the Road Jack became timeless classics that spanned decades. Despite his early struggles with heroin addiction, Charles continued to perform and record throughout his life, remaining relevant in the industry until his passing. Ray Charles died on June 10, 2004, at the age of 73, due to complications from liver disease. He was buried at Inglewood Park Cemetery in Los Angeles, where a star-studded funeral service was held, with music legends like Stevie Wonder and Willie Nelson honoring his life and contributions to music. Charles's groundbreaking work in fusing musical styles left an unmatched legacy that continues to influence artists across genres. Dennis Wilson, the wild and soulful drummer of the Beach Boys, embodied the surfer lifestyle that the band's music celebrated. He was the only member of the group who actually surfed, and his love for the ocean was reflected in both his life and death. Wilson was also known for his troubled personal life, which included struggles with substance abuse and tumultuous relationships. Despite these challenges, he contributed greatly to the Beach Boys' sound and became the creative force behind the band's 1977 album, Pacific Ocean Blue, a critically acclaimed solo work. On December 28, 1983, Dennis tragically drowned while swimming near Marina del Rey, California. In keeping with his deep connection to the sea, President Ronald Reagan granted permission for Wilson to be buried at sea, a rare honor usually reserved for military personnel. His ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean, a fitting farewell for a man who found solace in the waves. Prince, a musical genius known for his eclectic style, flamboyant performances, and genre-defying music, passed away on April 21, 2016, from an accidental fentanyl overdose at the age of 57. Prince Rogers Nelson was a revolutionary artist whose contributions spanned rock, funk, R&B, and pop. Hits like Purple Rain, When Doves Cry, and Kiss solidified his status as one of the most influential musicians of all time. Prince was also known for his fierce independence, famously battling with record labels for control over his music and creating his own symbol in defiance of the music industry. After his death, Prince was cremated in a private ceremony, and his ashes were placed in a custom-designed urn at Paisley Park, his famous home and studio in Minnesota. Later that year, Paisley Park opened to the public as a museum, allowing fans to visit the space where Prince created some of his greatest work and pay homage to his extraordinary life and legacy. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Don't forget to leave us a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions, don't forget to leave us positive comments. See you in the next video.